the two posters who are arguably one of the best, or among the best that we have in Ghana, in West Africa. I follow their work. And they do a lot of consultation in other countries, so I know. I just returned from Guinea, so I know what they do for.
Oh, okay.
So, but it's not an exact science. And like Martin said, the work that we do, campaigning, getting elected into office, coming back, trying to retain, or being booted out, it's so visceral and so unforgiving. So a lot of factors come to play. I have followed the pre-election reports, and I hear heavy envelopes are making the rounds.
Really?
Yes.
I see.
You know, we defend it. We say that it's for transport, but it's happening, especially when they are labeled. When they are labeled with all sorts of motivational words to as it were, do the trick. So those factors are important. Now, this being the delegate system is more tricky. But two major factors are at play. Now, we in government are monitoring what is the preeminent factor. The preeminent factor is that majority want Dr. Bawumia to be retained, so he may be a second time lucky. Because they think that if he's repeated, the chances are that the people are more familiar with him, is he politically marketed, and all that. So the chances of he doing better than he did in the 2024 elections will be better. But there is another major school of thought or movement within the NPP that says that it's not likely that we can win 2028. So we shouldn't risk Dr. Bawumia. We should rather go for somebody, even if the person doesn't win, the person will be marketed enough and prepared to slug it out with the NEC in 2032. So these are the major competing, the push-pull factors in today's elections. So, but the other dynamics are that it appears three of the candidates are formidable and not two. So, Bria, Dr. Bawumia, and Ken. Okay. So, among the triumvirate of the most popular candidates are also internal dynamics. So, but by all means, we have to listen to the pollsters and see their projections, because a lot is possible, but a lot is also not plausible. So, there is the delegates that is going to decide. And we are interested in who they elect. But we've done our own analysis. And so whether the pendulum swings to Ken or to Bawumia, they are not a match for us.
Really?
Either way. None of them is
but
a match.
You are yet to elect who is going to lead you into 2028.
Yes. But you see, what you shouldn't forget or gloss over is that, most importantly, the candidate that wins the election is only about 30%. But it's the party structure. If you let the most favorable candidate and he has a very weak party structure, it's not likely the person will sail through. So it's a combination of a more appealing candidate plus the party's formidable structure. That's what will deliver the executive power to you. So we have a formidable party structure. And you must have heard that we are even reorganizing that formidable structure. So we want to be more formidable. So it's immaterial who will be leading us when His Excellency GM leaves. So we want them to be, they should do what they do. They should by all means get their candidate, but it should be with less rancor and bitterness. because we already have a lot of ammunition regarding the things they've thrown out there against each other.
You're going to use
We've carefully packaged them. If you talk to computer is well versed in these matters, Dr. Tanko. Hey, we have packaged all those ammunitions down. So, but I wish them all the best. But by all means, it's the science people that will prevail. But whether it's Musa Dankwa's science versus Dr. Dual's science, by 6 o'clock, we will know. We will know. So these are two competing outcomes of science, of work of science. But like I said, science is this. What they do is not an exact science. So we'll leave the rest to other factors to influence.
So abysmally that it was thrown away, right?
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying that. So Dr. Evans' DS analysis looks more in keeping with this a bit rational thought. Though we admit, we've said it. Honorable Dafeamekpor said it. I said it. That a lot of it is not rational thought. It's visceral. It's gut feeling. Okay. It's emotional. Yes, these delegates, a lot of it is emotional. We also acknowledge that yes, they belong to camps. There's the Bawumia camp, Kennedy, etc. Right? But at the end of it, at least there must be some modicum of rationality. And if you're giving rationality a bit of weight in the way the voters are going to exercise their decision, then Kennedy should come up, because yes, Kennedy's baggage is basically about insults, right? That is better than the candidate who was superintending and was a key architect in a government that unleashed terror, that unleashed a lot of devastation, a lot of starvation, hunger, deaths, okay? Destroyed the fabric of our society, looted us to pulp, right? That story is a far more damaging baggage than the one who comes and you say, okay, he's insulted women, he insults people. It's just like Trump. You compare Kennedy to Trump. That okay, yes, he says many unsavory things, but any day a man who says unsavory things is better than the one whose deeds have led millions of people into poverty. Yesterday I met Andrew Holmes and others, people whose monies are still locked up, NDK Financial Services, other companies that have not been able to pay, right? The haircuts, the bonds, the DDEP. What story are you going to sell to people in the middle? What story are you going to sell? These deaths, okay, destruction of people's businesses, etc. This is not going to go away in 4 years. No, it's illusory. It's almost, it would be insulting the intelligence of the Ghanaians if he said that we can forget about DDEP, the death of Karma, Dr. Ajekum of Karma Health Services, etc. So many people, innumerable to count, right? We can't forget about that in 4 years. So the candidate who comes with such a baggage, the Kufuado baggage, want to do well in a general election.
I see.
He won't do well. But the one who doesn't carry Kufuado's baggage is more likely
Kennedy Japan also served in that administration, maybe not in the same capacity as Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Yes.
But he was a board chair.
Oh yes,
he
board
was
chair.
Member of Parliament. As
yes.
So
but that's a lesser role compared to, you see, candidate Bawumia. Bawumia in the run-up to the election gave many speeches, high-sounding, highfalutin, right? JP's word, right? Yes, highfalutin. Oh yes, easy. You see that video where he said, yes, they gave the job to somebody, he meant JM, he couldn't do it, and now he says what? 8 years on, when you play it, it sounds more like Kufuado Bawumia than JM, because JM's record is better than them. 2012, 2016, it's better than them by and large, right? So this thing that Dr. Evans Dua is brought, that sounds more plausible, that okay, the delegates have a significant rational thought, right? Though we also admit that it's largely visceral, emotional thought. It is gut feeling that they will use, and the envelopes, etc. But we can't say that there's no space at all for rational thought amongst the delegates, right? And so let's see, in the next few hours, we'll see how it pans out. But if they want to go with Bawumia, oh, that's their own cup of tea. They will just be handing Dafeamekpor an easy victory. It will be a walk in the park.
The underlying principle of association, which you referenced, which we say would be a disadvantage, if Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is elected. That underlying principle, if you want to apply it to almost all the candidates except Kwabena Agyapong, you would have a hold. Maybe that's in different, categories or different degrees of association.
Absolutely.
But then again, that underlying principle of association, you can spread it across 4 out of 5.
Yes, but not as much with candidate Bawumia. Okay. I mean, so Bawumia carries the biggest baggage when it comes to that. And you see, the voter psychology we are talking about here, maybe we should have those psychologists coming. We are talking about negative bias. Negative bias being that, look, we prefer to remember the negative stories and negative information. So I talked about the inflation at 54% in December 2022, etc. The exchange rate went through the roof. People lost their businesses. People have died. Some are even still. You see Dr. Edu Ananientwi and his people, as I mentioned, they're taking on NDK and the other financial. They went to the bank governor a few months ago. It didn't work. They've now petitioned the president to step in. Because thousands. Yesterday I was just walking in the court when Mr. Holmes met me. Oh, Martin, you should talk about this. Our funds are still locked up. NDK and the rest, I mean, many other businesses. So it means that even the effect of the DDEP, etc., it's not yet over. Do you see the, what do you call it, the World Bank report? 850,000 Ghanaians pushed below the poverty line in the Kufuor's administration as a result of the maladministration, the bad governance. And you see earlier Kofi Benton referenced the fact that Bank of Ghana sold about 18 tons. I went into the story. Then they said that compared to our peers, this is what the governor said. If you read the story, they saw that our gold reserves constituted about 40%. And that's not good. It's lopsided. So compared to our peers, it was lopsided. So they sold.
Based on what analysis?
He said compared to our peers. Oh, I naturally put the governor on. So they sold in order to realign, and that they've kept the money as foreign exchange. Look at the story. So you see it. That is proper economics. Because if it was so bad, how would the economy have performed very well last year? Look at the story. It says that the proceeds from the conversion remain fully within Ghana's international reserves and are being actively invested to support reserve accumulation and generate reserves. Okay? Yes, so they just didn't sell for selling sake. Like the way 52.5 billion vanished from GCB account.
Somebody built up that gold reserve for you to come and sell it.
No, but when they came, they bought 30. They came and made 30.
They haven't bought 30.
No, they came and made 30. They bought 10.
10.
Yes.
Not 30.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. They came and made 30 tons, then they bought 10.
And then
later,
18.
Later they saw that no. They say compared to our peers. Look, let me read that part.
No. Okay.
Governor Dr. Johnson Esiama explains that at a point, gold accounted for more than 40% of Ghana's total international reserves, significantly higher than the 20 to 25% benchmark observed among many peer economies. So we are comparing with our peers, and they said it's a benchmark. You see, benchmark 20 to 25%. So that ours was too lopsided. So we will correct it, and the money that has been converted is being kept in foreign exchange to keep the economy, the city strong. All right. So we're talking about this. These are the policies. So if you bring a candidate whose policy was haircuts, anyhow, haircuts with bottles, haircuts with knives, people died. Such a candidate. Why are we going with such a candidate? How are we fools? Okay. When we say it, then people say, hey, they will insult us. But we're saying that, look at a candidate that will not have will not be able to bring up a lot of negative bias
but if you
against that
the excesses of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, so-called, and then also Kennedy Japan.
Yes.
You say you would rather favor Kennedy Japan,
yes,
even with his excesses, as against the excesses of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia?
Yes.
Okay. Based on what?
Yes, so as I said, Kennedy's son, you will say he's insulted everybody in this country, right? Insulted everybody, and then he insults most people. Will tell you that when his contracts, he's not being paid. You know, he's Kufuor gave him a lot of contracts. Kufuor's time, he was even said not to be qualified to be a minister. He himself said it. You can play the tapes. Kufuor said no, with his temperament, etc. He doesn't qualify to be a minister, so they should give him contracts. They gave him contracts, Today he's built an empire out of it. Yes, he's made his fortune out of government contracts, etc. Well, that's how it always goes. That contracts will go to a party's favorite, right? Okay. We can't fight it too much, but when he comes, we'll then table that topic and we'll even get perhaps better reform, because we'll keep accusing Kennedy that he got too many government contracts. That was lopsided. It has made him rich. We shouldn't build a country like that, etc. Okay. We'll get some reform. But that is a better story, right? An insult than one who came, the whole economy went south. Inflation went to 54.1% December 2022. The exchange rate at a point was around 17 Ghana cedis, a dollar. 17, at a point. Even when you look, it even went to 18, right? And we went through a lot of hardship. People have died. People's businesses destroyed. You think such people, 850,000 people pushed below the poverty line? Look at the World Bank report. These people have families. Look at the multiplier effect. So such a candidate, no, you won't go anywhere with the candidate. And don't forget, we need a very strong opposition. So if you keep bringing a candidate that's easy to beat, yes, I hear Kofi's analogy about the fox telling the hen where to keep the eggs, etc.
You've been doing that all morning.
Well, but I don't think so, because I don't think so because I want a strong opposition that will hold the current NDC administration in check. But when you give a candidate who is not, so I need an honest broker. Relatively, Kennedy Japan will make an honest broker than
that's the fox talking.
That's an honest broker.
I see.
And the negative, you see, let's look at this one. It's not just me talking. Perhaps we should read. It's about the matter of the negative bias. The negative stories we will pin Bawumia to are far higher. And I'm talking psychology, voter psychology. So when you see Bawumia, then you remember.
So you are advising MPP?
Yes.
Not to go for Bawumia?
Yes.
But to go for Kennedy?
Yes. When you see Bawumia, yes, it's true. I'm not hiding.
Who hates Bawumia more than anybody?
No, I'm talking science. Please, let's be very clear. You see, in that time, let's give 2-3 minutes so that we espouse this. We are talking about voter psychology, yes, because we don't want it to be like it's just opinion. Read, that's what the psychologists do, those who specialize in voter psychology. They say, look, negative bias, we remember generally a lot of the negative stories. Negative bias, that's it. We remember the negative stories. So the moment you put Bawumia up, then Akufo-Addo is looming large. Akufo-Addo is writ large on Bawumia's face.
But you know, how was the refrain of he being sidelined, at some point, and then also, some news about the former President Akufo-Addo not even supporting him. How has that been helpful in, as it were, having Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia stand as an individual, not so much associated with the excesses of the Akufo-Addo administration?
No, that one is a ruse. It doesn't go far. Let me tell you, before the election, Akufo-Addo said Bawumia had all the knowledge in this world. You can ask Abdallah Eko to pull it. I said he had all the knowledge in this world, etc. That this is the man who has the economic brains. Even though Akufo-Addo read economics, he doesn't see himself as an economist. Bawumia was everything. Oh, his wife came. Oh, my husband is whiskey, economics whiskey, right? And everything that was trumpeted, everything economics was ascribed to Bawumia, that with Bawumia in the saddle, everything will move on well. So, too bad. He came in, whatever those ideas, they vanished, and it didn't work. That's it. So if you say he was sidelined, no, it's not something that washes with the floating voter. We, those in the middle, that's not a good story. To say he was sidelined. And even look, if he was sidelined, who asked him to stay on the train? He should have jumped ship. He didn't jump ship.
President?
Yes, so he stayed in order to continue for whatever reasons to benefit. So then he loses credibility. So the more he even mentions that he wasn't part, and yet he stayed on, then it means that there was something he was benefiting. So that even makes it worse.
Okay.
Because if you're saying that you've been sidelined, you are not being allowed to work, why are you staying there? Move. So if you don't move, then it means that you are now seeking your parochial interest. So you are not credible. You are now seeking your parochial interest because you say you are not working. Nobody is taking your ideas on board. Nobody is allowing you to work. And you are collecting salary. And your brother's getting contract, the Cocoa Roads. Look at his brother Ibrahim, those people. Yeah, he got contract. Yeah, unfortunately, not James Ibrahim. He too has a brother called Ibrahim, right?
You're talking about brothers getting contract.
But you think had not been for Bawumia, who born
Okay, so
I'm coming.
so
His brother-in-law took almost 40,000 pounds.
That point well made.
Samira's brother took our money, didn't go to school. The money went into a drain. Have they refunded that money?
Okay, because you talk about
Samira's brother took our this money, scholarship, London. He didn't go. The money went down the drain. Bawumia and his wife, have they refunded that money until he can come again? Such a man is not going to look after the public purse. It will get lost like the way it got lost in Akufo-Addo's.
So the negative biases are there. Let me acknowledge the presence of